Hi there, welcome to my Boss Capital channel. I'm Michael and I'm here with Sunil, and this is week ending April 12th, 2024. It's been quite a week. We have lots of things happening this week, this past week. So on Monday, the Nasdaq accumulation distribution rating is starting to weaken to D minus. S&P AAD rating is down to C. And these ratings will B and A minus respectively at the start of March. So yeah, so despite S&P hitting new highs recently, it has really dropped in terms of accumulation distribution. The distribution days start piling up quite a bit, and stock market no longer favors growth. And this was on Monday, January, February. The iShares growth, IWF climbed more than 10%, and IWD value rose to 3%. But since the start of March, it's only up nearly 3% on the value, and the growth index is down 0.1%. So you can see the growth, the value is like better than the growth now in March, since March. So the growth that is running out of favor. The IB50 also has gained a lot in the first 2 months, but then now it's also down, right? And then on Tuesday, it was down. The Nasdaq was down 0.7%, but it closed 0.3% higher. So it was a better day. And then also S&P also was gaining 0.1%, but you know, the gain is still minimal, right? So both closed above the 21-day moving average, and this is very important short-term thing to watch. And then the Dow was a shade lower. It is battling the 50 days on that day, so it is slightly below it on Tuesday. IBD 50 fell. So here's another problem, right? So even though the index were up, IBD 50 fell. It's barely above the 50-day, and it closed below it for the first time since November. Another stock, Nvidia, it also slid below its 21-day moving average, and is testing the 10-week line for the first time. And the 21-day line is bending lower. Yeah. Wednesday, we have the big CPI data for March came out, rose 0.4% on the month, with 3.5% annual increase. The monthly rise was harder than the 0.3% estimate. So it was, yeah, so this, and the annual increase match estimates. Core inflation rose 0.4%, also above the 0.3% estimate. And the year over year of 3.8% versus 3.7%. So both of them are higher. And the 10-year Treasury yield jumped to 4.49%. And oil prices edge up to $85.90 a barrel. Thursday, we had the PPI, and it rose 0.2%, below views for a 3.3% gain. So this one was actually better than its estimate. Core PPI also came in at 0.2%. PPI inflation came in at 2.1% a year earlier, compared to a year earlier, but below expectation of 2.3%. So that's also same thing with the year core PPI, 2.4% versus 2.3%. So this one was slightly up, the core PPI. So the key elements in the PPI report feed directly into the core personal consumption expenditure. So this is the PCE. This is what Fed use. So hopefully this will tame a core PCE price gains in March. Jobless claims is strong. It fell only 11,000 below views of 215. So 211 versus 215. So it's still pretty strong. Friday, news about Iran may attack Israel. We also have bank earnings, some of them disappointing. Nasdaq suffered a drop for the whole week, 0.5%. Its third weekly decline in a row now. It has now fallen below its 21-day. and it's holding above the 50-day line. So we can jump to the chart right now, and we can see that here.
Michael, your screen.
So on the weekly chart, you can see now 3 weeks down, we are now at the red line, which is the 10-week moving average on Nasdaq, and we have this run here from November to basically April, 21 weeks up, which is very similar to previous rallies. 19 weeks up here last year, and then before the pandemic here we have 15 weeks up, and then here we have 23 weeks up. So you know, we'll reach about the number here that's like pretty consistent with history. Like I think IBD said their average rally is about 18 weeks. So now we're on a 3-week pullback, and if we look at the daily chart, you know, we came down to the 50-day moving average once here, and here we're testing it again. So it hasn't broken it, but it did break the 21-day. So here's the 21-day. It has flattened. In fact, it's like kind of slightly trending down now probably. So 50-day is going to be very important. It has found support since the rally started in November, and so whether it can sustain this is going to be important, because if it fell support here, it could have a longer way to go. No one knows how far it'll go, but right now it is seeing support so far. So even with Friday's drop, it's a very negative reversal on Friday, especially Thursday. If I go back one day, it looks really good right here, because it's near the previous high. You see that? So it was very bullish here, but Friday it really gapped down on the open. So we go to sorry, let me go to yesterday and go to yeah, let's go to 60-minute chart. Actually 15-minute. So here you go, 15-minute charts here. So this gap down was pretty significant, and then guess what happened after the gap down? It never recovered, right? So it was overall a really bad day on Friday, and then where it closed is also not very strong at all. Like it's pretty much near the bottom. So last week we talked about the retracement from the one-day drop after the Fed meeting, and we talked about the 50% retracement, and it has come up many times since then, including this one, this big one right here, and we came close to it, but we got rejected. So this is very negative, and now, like I said, Friday's action is probably as bad as you can get. Other than actually closing down below this low from the Fed day. Now we're probably gonna test this. We did come down here pretty close to it, but now we are, so really it's very news driven right now, macro news. But earnings season is starting this week, so maybe the market is going to see what's going to happen. It's going to be very choppy. Whether it will take out this low will be important, because if it takes out this low, then we really don't know how much more it can go. So this will be, so if I look at this number here, 160, so it's pretty much 16,000 on this composite index here. So right, yeah. So like this line right here, you can see it has been on this line for many times in the past, like many, especially right here. And now we have gone above it. Right here, we have gone above it, and now we have stayed above it for a month now almost. So we really don't want to come back below it. And the 50-day has caught up. You can see the 50-day has caught up. So this is like a sideways range action, which is a good thing, as the 50-day caught up. The 200-day is still pretty far apart. That's the only risk here, because when it gets so far apart, you can see like the last correction here, it came back down, right? And then it get back down. You see that it narrowed the gap here, and then obviously it broke the 200-day here. So I don't know if that will happen. It's too early to tell, but yeah, it's possible, obviously, but we'll have to see. So Friday's action really negate Thursday's action, because it not only came down, gap down, but it closed below the low. So we go back to 15-minute chart. Thursday low was right here, and intraday make a newer low. So that was, you know, it basically negate Thursday's action. So really we back to where Wednesday was. So you can omit this too, and now we back to here, which is near the low range of this, you know, big gap, big range here. So right now it looks negative because of this. So we'll see what happens this coming week. And then if we look at S&P, very similar. It came back down to, so now this is the first time it tests the 50-day in a long time, because it hasn't come close to it for a long time. So we want to see a bounce here. That's what we want to see. Let's see if that will happen. It did close that low in the bottom on Friday. Yeah, and you can see it broke this Fed meeting here. So Nasdaq didn't break it, but S&P broke it. If I go to, so here's the low here. If I go to Dow is the worst index. I'm not sure if Russell's worse, but this one, you see, like, it broke it even earlier on Wednesday. It broke it, and then now it's much lower. And then we go to Russell. Yeah, very similar. So very similar to Dow. So these two index are doing the worst right now. So yeah, so those are the yeah. So if I go look at daily chart on Russell, it broke the 50-day line. We talked about this a week ago. This is the trend line. It broke it. So there's a huge list now. It even broke below this previous low too. So now we have a downtrend, right? Like a longer downtrend. So, and you can see the 21 days coming down really strong now. So yeah, because you know, the Fed is going to delay this unless something change in the future. But right now, with the Fed delaying the rate cut, the small caps are just more sensitive to interest rates. And then we go back to Dow on the daily chart. So yeah, this index look really bad right now. You can see it almost falling like a knife, which is really scary, because the Dow has, you know, the biggest stocks, right? So why is it doing this? I don't know. This is not good, and it's a very steep slope too. So like we are now at 38,000. Obviously 200 days around 36,000. We have dropped half of this like range here between 200 days. So Dow is the, you know, looks the worst in terms of, you know, how many days below the 50-day. And like I said, Russell is also starting to look getting weaker now. So, you know, 3 days now it couldn't climb back. The longer it doesn't climb back, the worse it gets. So again, this slope is really strong. So I expect some small bounce before it goes down further. So we'll see how those bounce turn out, if there's a bounce. Yeah, so that's the indexes here. And let me see. Yeah, even on Friday, decliners were 5-1 against advancers on New York Stock Exchange. Nasdaq did slightly better, 3-1 ratio. Volume was much higher on New York Stock Exchange. So this was the Dow worst week since March 2023. Let me go to weekly chart on Dow for a second, just to see. Yeah, so you can see this weekly drop right here since 2023. So somewhere like right here. Yeah, There's one here, but maybe it's not as big as this one. So yeah, so that's a bad sign, because you can see like here it went down further, here it also went down further, right? So yeah, so this drop right here and this drop right here is below the 50-day, signify further drop. So there's a high chance it's gonna come to 200-day. So be prepared. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, we're talking about small caps. IBD 50. Look at it. It dropped 2.7%. This is very bad as well. So you see, it also failed the 10-week moving average here on the big drop, and very similar to Russell chart. So here's the 200-day. Here's the buy point here. So it could come down there. We'll see. But yeah, things are not looking too good right now. So the funny thing was Thursday, we had a small rebound, and enough of a for Nasdaq it was a stronger rebound. But then Friday is what they call expectation breaker, because they expect the market to jump, but it didn't. Instead, it gapped down. So so that also, because also there's more selling on higher volume, so that's another distribution day. And also the leading names will also hit hard. So that's another sign, right? So not just the index, but also the leading names will also hit hard. So the IBD went from, let me show you here. So it was uptrend under pressure Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, because of that bounce on Nasdaq, they resumed the uptrend. But again, Friday was an expectation breaker. They changed it back to uptrend under pressure. But more importantly is the number of distribution days has jumped to 9 on S&P, and now we still have 7 on Nasdaq. So this is really high number. I don't remember it ever went to 10. I was actually surprised they didn't turn it into correction on Friday. I'm not sure why, but they didn't. So, and you can see the numbers of stocks accumulate this week very low compared to the selling pressure on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like even Thursday, I was expecting the selling subside because there was some buying, right? But it didn't subside at all. Like there's a little bit more buying, like 20 more stocks being accumulated, but you still see a lot of selling. So it continues up to Friday. And on the sector side, the commodities was the only one still standing, and even that kind of went negative on Friday. And a lot of the commodities and energy stocks reversed Friday as well. So that was painful because I hold quite a bit of that. So yeah, so as of Friday, like you can see, the distribution is all throughout all the sectors: retail, financial, technology, and industrial and health. Everything went up. Okay, so that's not good. So we have some retail sales figures out on Monday open. Then we have Fed Chair Powell may talk on Tuesday. And then we have Fed Reserve Beige Book related to the economic conditions in the regional level for 12 districts come Wednesday. So those are the economic data. And then earnings, we have Netflix, ASML, Goldman Sachs this week. So yeah, we kind of look at IBD 50 already. If you look at the equal weight S&P, this one also broke. So this one is actually, even though S&P 500 hasn't broke it yet, the weighted one, but the non-weighted one, equal weight, has broken. So this is really bad. So yeah, so I think, like I said, this is not a good move. Like, this is the overall all the stocks, right? Without weighting. So it's just showing more down, and then we look at equal weight Nasdaq. this one also broke it and make new low on Friday. So both of them signify breadth is getting worse, right? And I'm going to jump to the IBD screen here on the newspaper. So you can see, we talked about this earlier, accumulation distribution S&P is now D minus, and you can see the advanced decline line. It's based on the number of stocks up and down. You can see it has made new low, then like a low in the since probably a month ago almost. So, and it's coming down like, you know, quite fast too. And then on the Nasdaq, you know, we know this one hasn't done well. You see it make new low. So it's, the breadth is getting worse and worse on Nasdaq. Yeah. Look at the 10-year yield for a second. So the three, there's Krinsky, he's a technician. He been saying the market probably gonna have a hard time because of these three things, right? So the 10-year yield is one of them. It make new high this week. So we talk about this. It passed the 450 level. It did come back down on Friday. So even though this came back down on Friday, market didn't really react to it, which is also very interesting, which is not a good sign, because I would have expected the market to rebound because of this, but it didn't. So not only is, you know, 10-year yield getting higher as the market start to weaken, but it also not reacting to it when it's going down. So this tells me this 10-year yield probably will go up more. And there's people coming out and saying like it could reach 4.8. And that is that's gonna put more pressure on the equities, right? So anyhow, so that's not good. So another factor is the dollar. So look at the dollar, make new high. So the, you know, this is one of the trifactor. Again, it's not going to be forever. And this is probably why Dow is getting hit hard, because the Dow components, all the stocks are more global, and so with US dollar higher, it's going to hurt them if their sales is much more dependent on the global. So that's what happened there. And then you have the oil, right? You know, the oil this week, like I said, it made a new high on Friday morning, but it gave back. Now it doesn't mean this rally is over. It just, it could, I don't know. It's like lots of profit taking here. Volume is super high. But it's still, if you look at the pattern, it's still early stage breakout. This is the first time it's pulling back to 10-day. We'll see what happens. But again, one of the trifactor here that is against, that's kind of causing issue for equities, right? And this could induce more inflation. And with the Iran news, this also could cause oil to jump. So I saw an article, I can't remember the analyst. If there's a war with Iran and Israel, it would jump to 100 immediately, and then as high as 130, depending on how it goes. Anyhow, that's just one analyst. So in a few weeks, May 1st, we're going to see the first another meeting from Fed. Obviously, no one expect any cut there. June 12 was initially where people thought there would be a cut, but now you can see 71% doesn't think there will be a cut anymore. Only 26% thinks there will be a cut. July 31st. So in July, it's pretty even. 44 think there'll be a cut, and 43% don't think there'll be a cut. Interesting, this one's, yeah, a little bit, 11% think there'll be a double cut. Interesting. So now the futures indicate there'll be a cut, 44% in September. So that's, you know, because of the CPI data is now pushed back all the way to September. The calendar for this week, again, there's not much news. Retail sales is the big one. And then we have housing starts again. For Jerome Powell will speak at 11:15 on Tuesday. Fed beige book on Wednesday. The fear and greed index on CNN You can see it has climbed down quite a bit now. It has dropped quite a bit now. Yeah, this is a pretty steep drop right here. So we are below 50. So it's good that it dropped really fast. AI sentiment. We have, this is based on Wednesday, so 43%. So it has dropped 2 weeks in a row. Historical average 37%. And then the bearish sentiment is not too bearish, 24%. What's this 31% average? GTP now is at 2.4% for quarter one. So it's still pretty decent. Yeah. We'll look at the semiconductor sector. So we have this climb, and then it fall pretty hard. Then it came back up a little bit and just kind of went sideways. Like, this is very tight. I'm surprised how tight this is. So the chips are actually, you know, holding on very well. Like Friday, I mean, it did drop. Yeah, let me see if there's a new low, recent low here. So 219.64, 219.97. Okay, so it didn't even break the a week ago that Fed meeting low, which is interesting. Okay, so it's still holding on. Now 50-day has come up and it's getting closer to where the price is now. So, but we already tested this level once. You see right here. But this time the 50-day is getting closer, so it might test it one more time. Yeah, so it looks good. Like I said, it's holding stronger than I would imagine. If you look at Nvidia, so Nvidia has 2 good days, right? Wednesday and Thursday fall through on the bounce here, and Friday gave back up a little bit, right? Well, not a little bit, give back Thursday's game. But overall, it's still, you know, near the 10-day. And, you know, here it found support at the 50-day once. So I don't know if it's going to test it one more time or not. It's possible. So, but at least, like I said, this chart is very similar to the SMH overall sector. Let's look at ARM. So ARM, again, you know, we had this explosive growth here. And now it kind of slide down as this 50 days caught up. So now we're at the 50-day juncture. It hasn't went below it, so that's the good thing. So far, it's holding above this 50-day. So again, we're, you know, last week we said a lot of stocks were at critical level, and that is true. But this few stocks hasn't gone below it. A lot of stocks have. We'll look at some, but these 2 stocks have still holding up. Let's look at MU as well. But this one, instead of going down, it kind of went sideways. This one, so very powerful chart here. Again, this one is also acting really strong. It just doesn't want to give up its gains. Volume is still, you know, like one of the things I keep looking now is like this last 2 weeks, what is the selling volume look like compared to the buying volume? If it's really low selling volume is a good sign. But this one is still a little bit high, right around average. But the price action is still pretty good. Doesn't mean it won't drop all of a sudden. It just means like at least for now it's holding strong. I like to see the volume subside. On the selling side, it hasn't though. So Qualcomm, you see it's building a flat base. And continue to hold that 21-day. Like just sticking around the 10-day. And the 50-day is rising fast, coming close now to the price. But yeah, this is another stock that's acting pretty well lately. It's just the RS line just doesn't want to go down. So this is also interesting. Yeah, so the software stocks are, we had this initial big drop here, and then it hasn't moved much since then. And so a lot of the software stocks are basing, right? But right now it's starting to, it fell below this recent consolidation here, like a little short consolidation. It fell below it. And next level is 81.27 here. But it's still trading pretty tight, like other than Friday. But so we'll see if it's a one-day thing or not. The selling, it's weird that this looks like, if you look at the selling bars, it's kind of going up. So that's also not a good sign. But okay, so that's in general, right? The whole software sector. But let's just look at the bigger guys. Microsoft. I mean, it went down on Friday, but it didn't make any new lows or anything. So it's still doing okay, trading in sideways action. And you can see Microsoft RS line actually climbing a little bit. Not fast, but it's going up because it's not dropping as much as the general market. So again, this one has a base, and now it looks like it's trying to form another base. This is a base on base action. It's still early though. This is a more tight action than the base. So what does it say here? Like it's been 3 weeks tight action now. So looking pretty good. Amazon make new high this week. This stock is really strong. Really strong. It's moving slow, but it's holding up strong, right? That's what I'm really surprised how strong it's holding. I mean, Friday it did come back down below Thursday's low, but yeah, it make new high when it's just Thursday. RS line is near new high. Yeah, really strong overall. Like Google is also another strong one. So we broke out, and this is the 10-day slope right now. So it looks pretty good slope, and in this condition of the market. So I like this chart a lot because it broke out from a nice pattern here, a nice cup pattern, and it's like it's obeying the 10-day moving average pretty nicely, and the slope is decent. So yeah, I really like this. You can see the expectation is 31% growth on earnings. You see the earnings line is like kind of sloping outward now. So yeah. Then Meta. So Meta did have a down week, but it's very not a wide trading range, very tight. So this one is so expectation 46% growth. So earnings is going to decide the fate of all these stocks, right? So we'll see. But yeah, it did come down on Friday to the 10-day line. But it's the 50-day. Look at where the 50-day is now. It's so close to it now. So even if we test the 50-day, it'll be like not much of a drop. So that's the good thing. But yeah, April 24th is the earnings day. Probably the most surprising stock this week is Apple. Look at this big gain on Thursday, and on Friday, even on a down day, it was up. Look at this volume coming in, and then look at this drying volume, right? This drying volume right here on the sell side. So this is very positive technical, and yeah. So and it tested this low too, so it did make a newer low. So that also another thing. Low 160. Oh, it didn't. It's pretty close. 166 versus 167. So very close. It tested that low. So yeah, all these are really good signs. This bounce is so strong. Yeah, and all because they announced they did say they will have AI stuff on all the devices or something like that, right? Something they say there's something like phenomenal, something like that. So market really like that news. Again, AI theme continue to drive this market, especially in the bigger cap stocks, and even for Apple, like this is a huge movement, man, in 2 days, and volume is there to show it. So good news about Apple, I guess. Tesla. Everyone talking about the full self-driving stuff right now. It's just some news after hours, I think. They lowered their prices or something by half on the full self-driving or something. I can't remember if that's...
Yeah, FSD price, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's going to hurt them or not. Because they were so bullish that everyone's going to buy it. Now, the fact that they have the lower prices means not many people want to buy it.
Yeah, because yeah, I agree. The reason being, like, the one-time cost is very high, like $16,000.
Oh, that's a lot. I thought it was like 10,000.
You can get a good used car for that amount of money. So yeah, that's why I think they have done, like, they've changed the entire way. Now it's end-to-end neural network in FSD. They changed the entire way they used to do FSD, and also lower the price. So in Canada and US both, it's $99 per month, which I think is more affordable and more people will opt for it. But the thing is, whoever bought and paid 16,000, that's people are not happy.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we're gonna look at some of the stocks that have fallen this week, because there's more falling than going up. So we want to study some of these stocks just so we understand what's happening here in the marketplace. So Monday, you know, it wasn't the star at all. It didn't have a super run at all in the rally. It did go up 20%, and then it just did nothing after that, trying to build another base here. But then it fell this like high here to retake that high, and then since that time it just drifted lower and lower, and then it broke. Now it's heading towards the 200. So that's the problem. Like, you know, when stocks break their moving averages, if they don't, like this is a very classic example. Like when they broke that 50-day, if it doesn't climb back right away, like especially after a few days, this kind of action happens. People give up. They're like, oh man, it's gonna break even further, and that's exactly what happens, right? So if it, you know, some people want to hold on here, and then as days goes by, guess what? I don't know if there's news or anything, but anyhow, so now it's heading towards 200 days. So this drop here is significant, right? That's like half, more than half the drop of this range here. So this is, you know, again, we're gonna look at a lot of stocks that are breaking down right now. And this is, you know, if you choose to hold on to your stock, this is the kind of question you have to ask yourself: are you able to take that kind of drop?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to sell when you panic down here and then it bounce off here, like, you know. But you from here to here is probably like 30% or more. So that's the question you have to ask yourself. So Monday is probably not the strongest stock. The next one is ANET. This one took a big dive yesterday. I don't know if there's news. So this one had a nice run, built this base, broke out, but it fell. It fell back. It never came close to this high right here. It tries, but it never came close. It went sideways. And then on Friday, like I said, I don't know if there was any news yesterday. It just broke hard. Again, when it breaks 50-day line. After it breaks, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are stopped at the 50-day, and this is what happened. It just kept going down the rest of the day, and volume is super high. Now this could, you know, sometimes when you have the big drop and the highest volume, that could be the end of it. It shakes everybody out. All the stops have been hit right here, and the ones that are panicking, they sell. So it could be the bottom. No one knows, but at least, you know, that you know, this is not like, this is a 1 day thing, so this is like, you can't see that coming, obviously. But yeah, that's what happens, right? You know, it's gonna hit people's stops and just keep going, and people panic. But there's a high chance this could be a bottom. Just saying, like, you know, because when you have high volume sell out, usually that's the bottom. You see it right here. Right here, yeah, pretty close to the bottom right here. So we'll see. Hard to say, but I don't know if there was news though. So that's ANET. Oh yeah, there was a downgrade. Now I remember, there was a downgrade. So that's what happened. Okay, so there's probably more tech stocks we'll look at in a sec. On the retail side, make my trip. Let's just look at the sector first. So XRT. So this is looking so negative. Like, it broke this low right here, and now look at this downtrend. It's such a steep drop, like slope. And it's just dropping like there's no tomorrow. And now we even went below the previous buy point, which is unusual. Usually when you go to a previous buy point, you see some bounce. I mean, I guess this is considered a bounce here. But it failed that bounce, and now it's going to 200-day. Again, same problem. If you didn't sell at the 50-day, this gap is huge, right? 50-day to 200-day, and that's why it's so scary now, right? If you're still holding stocks, if they break 50-day, which is usually when institutions support it, and you know this is a sector, but stocks are very similar. So MMYT is the star for a long time. Strong run right here. Like, we have this gradual run, and then we have this final run here. And then we have this one big down day. Again, I don't remember if there's news, but this is a big reversal. You see how it went to a new high, and then it reversed on that same day, went to 21-day. Now, again, it's going sideways, but it's not making much movement. So if it breaks this 21-day, it's going to go down hard. And here's the 50-day line right here. So this is a leader. Friday's volume a little bit light, so that's good. So we'll see. Right now, I think because a lot of stocks are following the general market index. So yeah. So right now, the general market is kind of, you know, a lot of stocks are falling it. So because it's in a downtrend, I think there's a lot more risk now for the stocks that are already falling. These are more industrial. We'll talk about that second. Let's continue with retail. I do want to talk about XLP and XLY, just to show you what is happening there. So staples, consumer staples, you know, it's fallen as well. It's fallen 50-day. XLY also fallen. So here's 50-day, and it also fallen now. So the retail is getting pretty hit hard right now. So stocks like Decker, look at this drop. Again, not a good sign when it dropped hard and it didn't bounce back much. Not a good sign. Kava is probably my favorite leader in the retail space, and this has a really strong run. It has dropped all the way to the 50-day. Now this is almost similar to Nvidia chart. It bounced on Wednesday, and Thursday it followed through. Friday gave back the Thursday's gain. Now it's still very much above the 50-day. So again, it found support at 50 days. What happened here? So let's see if this stock can hold this level, because that's where institutions support, especially leaders like this. So yeah, so I still like Kava. So that's retail. On the industrial space, so let's look at. So we know industrial is not doing well. because of like Dow Jones not doing well. So here, this one broke the 21-day. So it's heading towards the 50-day right now. So ETN, again, very similar chart. Like it has one gradual run and then one more significant run here. And now it top right here. This one is still looking okay. It's like, you know, trying to hold on to the 10-day. But again, if the bounce is weak, well, this is like surprisingly good sign. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all green. When the market is down on 2 days there. So this RS line is going up. You can see that. So this is actually surprisingly not bad. AV, this is in the aerospace defense. So this one hasn't made much movement. Now, the good thing is, look at this volume. It's just so low now, right? Even on the Wednesday and Friday, the volume is not that bad at all. It's not super low, but it's not super high either. So, and then 50-day has caught up. So, yeah. Okay. We'll look at just out of my memory. VRT is probably the leader in this area. So this guy's doing electrical power equipment, and you can see they have, you know, again same chart pattern, one gradual run and then one stronger run. And this stock, what it did on Wednesday, again when the market was down, it was actually going up. It rebound up, and Thursday it followed through. Friday it gave back some again. Now it's back 10-day. So Nvidia, Kava, VRT, these three stocks in different areas are showing strong leadership. Yeah. RS line remain at new high, near new high. Very strong stocks. Okay. Health. For the health sector, the biggest news was ALPN. So funny, it was like I was watching this stock. Yeah, I think it was Wednesday, right? I can't remember. It was up like 4 or 5% in the day. I was like, why is this stock going higher when the market is down? And then, oh, so this is this bar right here. And then I guess the news broke, and then that they might be acquired, and then on the next day, Vertex confirmed it, and then it has this gap up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was good news for Alpine. I was gonna buy it, but then I just, because it was such a bad day, I was just like, I don't want to buy tech stocks because sometimes they can be volatile. But yeah, it turns out to be good news this time. So that's the only stock that really stand out. The other stock was ISRG. It's kind of still weak on Friday. Like you can see, it kind of came back below the 50-day again. But it's been trading very tight. Volumes, you know, kind of getting low. You can see the 50-day average volume is just even coming down. That's how low the volume is. It's been building this base here, like, you know, and this is, you know, a nice run. So once this is over, I would assume it will run again. But yeah. Okay. So on the commodity side, so XLV, like I just want to show you the sector because it is not looking good. So here's XLV. So look at this chart. Same thing. It broke the 50-day, and it's just like, look how fast it goes to 200-day. And that's the scary thing, right? So just because your stock's holding 50-day doesn't mean it won't come down fast. Once you break it, it can come down really fast. So I just want to show that. And then we have energy, right? Energy is again, I think Friday it's a very negative tone. Like I don't know what to make of it. Like, you know, probably from a technical perspective, like everything is kind of like, you know, probably like you would sell just because of this, right? But let's see, right? Like, it's just a 1-day action, and we'll see what happened the next day. It could go down first. You know, that's the thing. If it does break, if it does continue, it's going to come down fast. So make sure you're protecting your gains because most of them have lots of gains. So if you have it, you probably have some gains. So make sure you protect your gains. You know, because I don't know if this pullback, I don't know how far it will go down. Like, You know, 21 days definitely right there. 50 days still right here. I don't know how far I'll go back. Again, I think the Iran and Israel story will probably linger, right? It doesn't go away in one day. Even if they didn't attack this weekend, doesn't mean they won't attack the next weekend. So, I don't know. I'm still holding to some of my energy stocks. So probably the biggest one I enjoy, like, you know, is Tidewater. Has this nice run here, about 20% gain. Now it's kind of going sideways. Very tight sideways action. Look at this volume on the selling side. It's really low. And then look at the buying volume here. So, and I said, the fact that it's going sideways is not a bad thing because it's just consolidating very tightly. The other one's Weatherford. This one, a little bit weaker now. You see, now it goes to 21 day. So, yeah, so this one is weaker than Tidewater. On the gold side, there's lots of stocks on the gold side. What's it called? AGI is one of them. Alamos Gold. So this one had a big reversal, right? So all the commodities had a big reversal on Friday. But you can see this uptrend is still very strong. Like it's still intact, 45-degree angle. I think it's Eldorado, ERO, right? Eldorado. No, this is copper. Copper is sort of reverse. So, but again, it's still on the uptrend. It's still intact. EGO, I think, yeah, EGO, Eldorado. Yeah, there you go. So this one also reverse. The uptrend is still intact. It did touch the 10-day, but it's still intact. WPM. This is silver and gold. So silver also starting to run, joining gold in the rally. So this one has a big reversal. Again, because they ran so fast, it pulled back, right? So one day action is not necessarily the worst thing yet. So I think that's silver. Yeah, Silver Trust. So look at this. It ran so fast on Friday. It came back. But again, uptrend still intact. So and then we have the uranium CCJ. So this one tried to break it out on Friday, but it kind of pulled back. But again, the uptrend slope is like this. So the uptrend is intact right now. A lot of people watching this one because if uranium takes off, man, they usually move pretty fast. So, yeah. So let's come on. There's probably other ones. So see if we miss any later. Finally, we have financial. Now, financial didn't do that well. So if you look at XLF. Right, broke the 21-day and look, 3 sessions came down to 50-day and broke 50-day now. I mean, this looks pretty bad. Like I expect a bounce. Whenever you see like a parabolic drop like this, I expect a bounce here, right? Somewhat of a bounce, and then I'll test that 10-day slope coming down, and then we'll see if it keep going. But I don't expect the financial to drop. Like I expect to bounce off 50-day. I don't know. We'll see. It didn't though on Friday. Just so you know. So that's why breaking 50-day is one thing. It's gonna bounce most likely. The question is, can it climb back above this 50-day? You know, that's very important. So I think what was it? Which stock was it? Is it Morgan Stanley? I think it's Morgan Stanley. Yeah, it got whacked on Thursday. Look at this. Look at this. Wow. It just got whacked here. JP Morgan. JP Morgan is reporting this coming week, right? No, it reported on Friday. Look at this one. Oh man. Look at it. It got whacked. So that is a big drop. So that's the bigger banks, KBE. It was an ugly week for them. I think, so again, now we're below 50-day. We broke the uptrend. And you know, how far will it go? Possibly 200-day. But yeah, this week was down 3.5%. And then if we look at the regional, also down 3.5%. Okay, surprisingly, I thought it would be more, but it's down 3.5%. Okay, so now this one is at the 200-day. 200-day. So let's see if it can hold. Now Friday, it's surprising. Like someone pointed out to me, Friday it dropped only 0.8%. So it actually, like the relative trend line actually went up because it dropped a lot less than the market. So which is very interesting. So we'll see if that's, you know, potential bottom there. Yeah. Based on Wednesday's action, which is the day it dropped big, and we saw, like I say, some stocks bounce. Not many, just a few leaders, like Nvidia. We talk about Kava, VRT. Some of those leaders bounce. So I took that as the low day, and the performance is based on that since Wednesday. So you can see Alpine, we talked about that, got acquired. FCFS, yeah. So this financial stock, well, let's look at it. This is consumer loans area, and look at this chart. It did not even care what the market did, and this is a very bullish pattern because it broke out, it pulled back to the 10-day, and then it took off. So very bullish. Look at the selling volume right here. Barely any. And okay, so very good action. Yeah, it's not a big company. 5 billion cap. First cash home. So consumer loans, very interesting. Let's see which one. Wing. Yeah, you can look at Wing too. Like Wing, you know, beside Kava, so Wing is also holding up pretty nice. Like the earnings 25% coming, so that's not bad. So look at daily action here. So same thing. Wednesday, Thursday it bounced. Look at Friday where it closed. It didn't even want to close at the bottom, even though it's such a tight range. Look at this volume. Like nobody wants to sell on Friday. That's the lowest volume in like months. So this is very interesting. We talk about VRT, EDU, Chinese education stock. CG is energy alternative. Let's look at this guy. This is energy, renewable energy. I can't remember exactly. Power, natural gas. So this chart action is also very strong. Look at 10-day bounce, 21-day here support. This one, this time, it didn't break 10-day once. Like it touches it, but it kind of closed at the top every single time. Strong action. Look at the volume on the buy side, and then look at the selling volume recently. Also, kind of slowing down. So very strong action. So same thing. Wednesday, Thursday bounce. Friday, it didn't want to go down much, right? So these are not many, like I said, not many leaders, just a few. Team and Datadog. So these two, for some reason, is showing, you know, so they have corrected a lot, right? And now you can see the right side of the base. Now Friday it gave back, you know, Thursday's gain, but that's okay. It's just, you know, the slope is still look okay, 45-degree angle. But again, it declined by 50-day line, so that's good. Now look at the selling volume. It's much lower than the buying volume, right? So good sign. Datadog. So this one has Wednesday, Thursday bounce. Again, Friday it gave back Thursday's gain, but it's still uptrend still remain intact. And look at this volume selling, same thing. It's just very low. I said Friday selling, but lately the selling has subsided. So that's one of the big thing I look for in a base is is the selling volume drying up. In this case, the Friday selling volume is like not even average, and it's also lower than the day it went up. So good signs. NRG, we talk about HQI, TN, Vital, LBG, GTRX, Dash. So Dash and Uber are showing good signs too. So Wednesday, Thursday bounce. Again, any stock that bounced on Wednesday was a good sign to me, because that was a very negative day. And then Friday it gave back Thursday's gain, but look at the volume. Look at that low volume. Very strong in technical strength. Uber. So Uber didn't do much on Wednesday, but it's trading tight. So it didn't have much. Look at this volume. Like, it's so low, and you can see the 50-day moving average just volume continue to go down. So this is exhaustive sign of people selling, right? Like, people, there's no more sellers. But we just have to wait for the buyers to come in on Uber right now. Now this is a nice flat base. This is a strong run. Look at weekly chart. Here you go. It's just right the 50-day. It did break the 50-day, but again, the volume is no one's selling it, right? So this is a good sign. Doesn't mean volume won't come in to sell later, but at least, like I said, it's just not many people want to sell right now. And we had two really negative days, Wednesday and Friday, right? So I will watch this. Uber and Dash, they're doing really strong. Coin, this one, it has again a nice Wednesday bounce, Thursday bounce, follow through right here, but Friday it gave back Thursday's gain. So a lot of, some of these stocks did that, but it's still, as long as it still continue this uptrend, if this is the bottom here, it could still run. Also, the volume here, you can see, like the volume has been just continue to go down, which is a good sign, especially in this type of market, right? It just tells me that there are less and less people wanting to sell now. So let's hope that is near the end of it. There's Modine here. Okay, Infra. Now I didn't really trade this stock much, but it's just showing so much strength. It's at the upper channel line now. Like, I have to say, this stock is so strong right now. Like, it's crazy. I don't even know why, but it's just so strong. Here's the bounce right here, and look at Wednesday. Went to close at the top. Look at Friday. It didn't even want to close at the bottom. So many people are getting out, but yet the price action is remarkable. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit extended for me to even think of buying this, but this is broke the upper channel line definitely, like once here, and then now it broke this right here again. Now it broke it again. So it's very extended. But this stock is just almost near new high. Look at this. There's something happening in this stock, like 35%. So that's not bad. Netflix reporting this week. That'll be last time. I remember in January. Yeah, they blow the market estimate. Like, look at this. So for Netflix, yeah, it's always make the biggest gains on earnings. After that, it it still go up, but not as much. You can see now the 50-day. The good news is 50-day has caught up.
Mm-hmm.
But this stock is all about earnings, man. Like, traditionally, it's just one of those stocks. Like, it's all about the earnings. Like, they don't move much between earnings. They always move a lot on earnings. So yeah, I don't know if you think Netflix will do well or not. HubSpot. Yeah, HubSpot. Because of the last rumor acquisition by Google, but it did fall back here after a breakout. But then it bounced, right? Like, it closed. See, Wednesday it closed at the top. Thursday it followed through. Friday it gave back Thursday's gain, but it's still above 10 days. So uptrend is still intact. So, and like the volume selling side is okay, not too bad. GCT more volatile. So toes, I'm going to talk about toes. Let's take a quick look at this. So Wednesday was really tight trading range. Volume was like kind of low. Thursday it bounced, followed through, and Friday it gave back some of those gains, but volume is again lower. So toes is setting up nicely right now. One of the analysts on CNBC really likes it, so we'll see. And this is the earnings line right here. So look at this, it's growing again, turning positive again. So let's see. Looks good. Fix, Amazon, Oberst, GE. So again, industrial stocks, GE, MCY. Let's look at quickly those ones, because they've been really strong leader. You can see weekly chart is just crazy, but obviously they're quite extended. So that's the problem with extended stocks, right? It's if they didn't even form a tight base, like short consolidation, like this one didn't really pause much. But now look at it, it's going like sideways. Again, good action. Volume like selling on Friday, look at that. Didn't want to close at the bottom, and the selling volume is low. Just waiting for the 10-day and 21-day to catch up. I don't know, man. This stock is so strong. GE. EME is building maintenance. So this one is holding tight right here. Volume a little bit higher, but still not above average. And then we have MCY. So this one's in the, oh, this is insurance, MCY. So the insurance group, so Friday's volume is higher, but the price action still looks good. Still support 21-day. So this one just broke out, but again, it hasn't taken off yet. Palo Alto. Consumer security. So this has a big correction. So are we done with this selling? Look at this volume. Super low. Even on Friday, look at that. Really looks nice. And it tested this bottom like recently. It didn't want to go below it. So yeah, looks good. Palo Alto. PSN. So this one has a new relative strength high here recently. Okay, so this one is still below the 10-day. I don't usually buy stocks below 10 days, just unless it's just a little bit premature, especially if it didn't go through. I mean, this base is kind of, yeah, it fell right here. So it fell there and then it came down. Now it's testing this 50-day. I'm not sure if it can hold on. We'll see. But Friday it's holding on. So Spotify. So I'm still holding on to my Spotify shares. Look at how tight it's trading. Look at where 10-day is and where the price is. It doesn't want to touch the 10-day. Volume is coming down. Yeah, excellent chart, this one. And recently it came out, right? And it came, like, because of the news of the subscription prices going up. But yeah, it's just holding up really nice, going sideways. This is exactly what you want to see. Looks really good. Okay, so NVO came starting to move, and it has built the base right here. Hasn't really formed the bottom roundness yet. So yeah, but it's getting there. We'll see. If you see a nice big update, probably a good signal, because we're at the 50-day, and if it bounces off strong, that's probably a good signal. So MBO look good. This is leisure travel booking for TCOM for Chinese company. BMA. So this is foreign banks. So this one also don't want to sell much. Look at this. No one wants to sell. Just holding the 10-day nice. So it has a strong run right here. Strong run. And it pulled back to 21 day, and then it hasn't taken off yet, but it's holding so tight. I'm surprised how tight it's holding. PGR Insurance still holding. PPC, Food Meat Products, EPAC Machinery Tools, CrowdStrike, Palantir, SMCI. So yeah, like this, let's look at Lilly since we talk about MBO, because these leaders have kind of pulled back quite a bit on going sideways. So it's in terms of time. So two ways a stock can base. One is based on length of the time of the base, and one is the price movement, how deep it goes. So this one has gone on for almost 2 months now. Now 50-day has caught up. If you look at weekly chart, look at the big picture, and you see this move right here, and basically since then it's gone sideways. So at some point, it's gonna come out of this base again. That's the pattern, right? It goes like this. See, it's like a staircase. This Lilly and MU are like the obesity drug loss thing. Like, it's only gonna get more demand. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it in general.